Hey everyone, just want to give you a quick heads up before you view this video. Normally I try and keep them between 2 and 3 minutes long. This one is almost 7 minutes. It's I tried editing some of it out and I just couldn't. Yeah, the content was just too good. So apologize for the length of it, but like I said, when you've got good content, I can't do it. Take a look, hope you enjoy it, and remember, I'm never too busy for your referrals. Bye. Hey everyone, Angela with Hometown Realty. Today I am sitting with Doug Rose. Doug is with Credit Restoration Associates. We've been talking about getting ready to purchase your house, whether it's your first house, your second. One of the most critical parts of that is your credit report. And Doug is going to be talking to us about strategizing to make sure that your credit report is accurate and healthy. So Doug, what is the best piece of advice that you can give to someone to get that going?
Well, when we work with clients on their credit and getting ready for the home buying process, we recognize that there are three things that are real important for everyone to keep in mind about their credit reports. Everything on their report must be 100% accurate, 100% verifiable, and within the statute of limitations. The statute of limitations being these days that negative items can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years, assuming that they fit the criteria, and bankruptcies being the exception, they can stay on for up to 10 years. They don't always have to, but they can. And what you want to do is make sure that anything that appears on your credit report fits within the criteria. If something is there that's negative and is not accurate or verifiable, and we can talk about that a little later, then they should come off. And there are things that you can do. There are laws to protect consumers, like all of us, to help you defend your credit report. And you can dispute things and get things removed if they don't fit the criteria. And what we look at in strategizing on a credit score and trying to make sure that it's as healthy as it can be, we look at different pieces of what creates your credit scores. And 35% of your score, if you think of it in terms of a pie chart, you can visualize this with us, 35% of your score is based on your payment history and whether or not you make your payments every month on time. So you want to stay up with that. That's kind of a no-brainer. Everybody's heard that before. There's another piece of the puzzle, a big chunk, 30%, is based on your balances that you carry compared to the credit limits, what we refer to as your utilization. And you want to keep your balances at 50% of your credit limit or lower. The sweet spot is around 20% or less, but it's something in the 50% or less is good. And between your utilization and your payment history, you account for 2/3 of your credit score just in those two areas alone. So if you can make sure you're making your payments on time and managing your balances, your scores are going to look pretty good. But then there are a few other pieces of the puzzle that factor in. The length of time that you've had credit accounts for 15% of your score. So if you're young and you haven't had enough time to build positive credit history, then that's not going to help you as much. But for those of us that have had years of charge accounts and home loans and various things that show up on our credit reports, that's usually not going to be a big part of the issue. You're going to get a nice little boost in that 15% of your score. Then the remaining two pieces of the pie are 10% each. Your score is going to be affected by new credit and the mix of credit that you have, or the types of accounts. So if you have a lot of new credit, then it's going to take away from your score. New credit would be any new credit item added to your report within the last 12 to 24 months. And inquiries factor into this too. So how many times you have your credit checked from outside sources, not yourself. And then the mix of credit comes into play. If you only have one or two types of credit on your report, then your score is not going to be as good as it could be. Whereas those of us that have installment accounts, credit cards, a car loan, a mortgage, you have different types of credit, that's going to increase your score because lenders are going to look at that as though you're able to manage different types of credit. So that's a boost. So what we do is strategize on which of these areas can we make changes to that will raise the score and keep it in a healthy position. And that way we get everyone ready for their home loan process.
Okay, and sometimes it can be a little bit of a lengthy process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight.
Correct. Anytime you dispute something with the credit agencies, with the TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax, they have a certain amount of time to respond to those disputes. So it can take anywhere from 35 to 45 days to get answers back. So it can be a little bit of a process. The important thing is to stay on top of it. If you're going to send communication to them, you want to make sure that you're doing it through certified mail so you have some proof of when it was received, and keep on track with the process that's there through the consumer laws. You have to hold their feet to the fire, unfortunately. Now, of course, there's no magic pill to fixing credit. If it fits within that criteria of being accurate, verifiable, and within the statute of limitations, it's going to be something that needs to be addressed financially. You're probably going to have to pay a debt, settle in some way, negotiate a payoff, or what have you. And we can help people to do that, but there's nothing that can't be done on your own. You can certainly do these things yourself. It just can take time, so you have to be patient and you have to be diligent.
Okay. So, like I said, patient and diligent, and you'll get there. All good things take time. If it happens overnight, it's not going to be worth it. So, all right, pay your bills on time, keep your credit current, and
keep your balances in line.
Balances in line. That can be hard, especially with the holidays coming up. And patience, and you'll get there.
Exactly.
All right. Thank you so much, Doug. And I'm going to have Doug's information up on the page, so if you have any questions for him, or if your credit is past being dinged or dented and it is totally bruised and beaten up and you need his help to get it fixed, you'll have his information. You can give him a call. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure.